What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about a potential draw situation that could happen in the Kengan versus Purgatory tournament. As of this video, there are 3 remaining matches, with 1 match currently happening in chapters right now. Both teams have got 4 wins each, with 1 match being a double disqualification. And with the remaining matches, it is still very hard to determine who will come out on top as the victor in this tournament. So here are my suggestions and ideas on what could go down if this tournament ends up in a draw. Now, if both Kengan and Purgatory end up with 6 wins each, I think the most likely scenario we'll have is that we'll get a tiebreaker match. And what this tiebreaker match will do is that both the Kengan Association and Purgatory will send out 1 more gladiator to the stage for them to get the victory. And whichever fighter wins the fight wins either Purgatory or the Kengan Association the entire tournament. Now, the reason why I think this is a very high possibility is because we know that both these associations have got fighters in the wings right now who are currently not engaged with the team and could potentially have a match in this tournament. A match that can go down and would be very interesting to the entire Kengan fandom is Toyoda Idemitsu versus Katahara Ritsudo. Now, the reason why I'm picking these two as one of my dream matches for this tiebreaker match is because we've already been introduced to both Katahara Ritsudo and Toyoda Idemitsu. They are characters that are already very well known to us, and we know that Katahara Ritsudo is a very high level fighter, as Kano Agito himself picked him out as a successor as the Fang. And Toyoda Idemitsu, we know that he could punch a hole in a punching bag with ease, and I reckon that he's hiding some kind of latent ability that he has, and potentially he could be a very strong fighter. And if these two were to battle it out to decide who the winner of the Kengan versus Purgatory tournament is, it would be very interesting. And it makes a lot of sense in my opinion, as Retsudo's father, Katahara Mitsudo, he was a former chairman of the Kengan Association, and he has been running the Kengan Association for 50 years or so. So it would make sense that he would be a likely pick to go into this tiebreaker match and decide the winner of the Kengan versus Purgatory tournament. And on the other hand, we obviously have Toyoda Idemitsu, who is the head of Purgatory, and these two battling out against each other to decide the winner would make a lot of sense in my opinion. 2 other contenders do remain who have not sustained any damage as of yet, and you've guessed it, is Edward Wu and Corey Ryan. Now, if these two were the ones to go for this tiebreaker match, it would make a lot of sense, as Ryan in his match, he was barely damaged. I think he didn't get any scratches on him at all. And Edward Wu, we know that he originally was going to be in the tournament, as he specifically asked Idemitsu to join and destroy the Kore clan. But for some reason, Alan Wu took his spot. And now Edward has the perfect opportunity to be a part of this tournament as the tiebreaker match. And Corey Ryan versus Edward Wu would be absolutely epic as a tiebreaker match. The second scenario, other than the tiebreaker situation, is the merger of both the Kengan Association and Purgatory together. Now, the way this merger would most likely work is that both fighters from each roster could either transfer to either the Kengan side or the Purgatory side, and they could fight with either the Kengan rules or the Purgatory rules. Now, this will benefit a lot of fighters in my opinion. So say fighters such as Nicholas Libanar, if he was to go over to the Kengan side, it would favor him a lot, as this guy is an absolute maniac. Other fighters such as Jiroda could benefit a lot from switching over to Kengan, as he could now use the full might of his swing without any remorse, without having the idea that he could lose under the rules of Purgatory. If he goes over to Kengan, he would be a beastly fighter if he was to do that. Now, if this merger was to occur, it would make a lot of sense, as we're kind of getting the best of both worlds, where we have in the Purgatory side and the Kengan side both integrating within each other to create a more expansive roster, and it would create a lot of future fights and future arcs. And probably the last situation which can happen is that neither Kengan nor Purgatory absorb one another and just carry on doing what they're doing. And if this does happen, it would be kind of boring, but we have seen situations within Kengan Omega so far where we've had results that we have not been happy with. I mean, if this was to happen, I wouldn't be too unhappy, as Kengan will go along as it has been running for hundreds of years, and Purgatory is much more new. It's more suited towards fans within the wider world, but the Kengan Association is only supposed to be within the underground world. Now that these two entities have come together, Kengan is no longer an underworld sport anymore, as this is being televised throughout the world, this tournament, and people are watching this through their TV screens, when we know that the Kengan fights are supposed to be secretive, but now they're all open, and this could create a much bigger of a franchise for the Kengan Association. So Nogi could possibly take this into his advantage and turn the Kengan Association into some competitive sport such as Purgatory, and use that to gain wealth. And it would make sense, as Nogi is a businessman, but it would be a boring route to take if Sandrovich does decide to do this. But I will still carry on watching Kengan Omega no matter what. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and help your boy out to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year.